So after a long time not posting anything due to a vacation and getting back and working and other stuff, I'm back for more videos. This time I wanted to talk with you about the recording modes, which is the little menu you can find down here in Cubase 9 and above. You will probably not use all the settings, but it's nice to know they're here and that you can use it whenever necessary. Let's start from left to right. This button down here is called Constrain Delay Compensation. What it basically means is whenever you have an insert on an audio track that is causing a delay between the live recording and what's coming out of the output, clicking on the button will shut the insert temporarily just so you can hear yourself in real time. Let's open an audio track quickly, change the name to Vox, and I'll load an FX change which I made earlier. In this FX chain we have EQ, compressor, delay, reverb, and the pitch changer. Now as you can hear, when I'm turning on the monitor, I can hear myself in a delay. This could cause some troubles whenever you're recording yourself or other singers. The cause for that is that some effects need to do some processing in the audio coming in, and then they take some time to get the audio out back to Cubase. Bypassing the insert in the insert slot will not shut down the insert itself, and I could still hear myself in a delay. So instead of removing the effects, clicking here will shut off all the effects that are causing the delay. And now I can hear myself perfectly clear without any delay. Even if we turn the effects on, only the ones that are not causing the delay are working, while the ones who do are closed. And when we're done, click on the button again. Let's continue to the next part, which is the global recording. Clicking here will open a menu with 4 options to choose from. The punch in and out is the default. Whenever you're pressing on the record button, you can record normally. And whenever you're pressing on the record button again, it stops recording but keeps on playing. Therefore, you can play with the punch in and out whenever you want. Choosing the re-record option will send you back to the location when you started playing from, whenever you're pressing on the record button while recording. For example, I'm starting to play from the first bar and recording from the second one. If I'm pressing on the record button again, I'm jumping back to the place I started playing from, which is the first bar. This part is working best whenever you have a difficult part you want to record or simply want to send yourself back whenever you're making a mistake. Just notice that pressing on Ctrl and Z won't show you all the last recordings you made. For an example, if I'm recording something now, this is Vox 25. If I'm pressing on the record button again, it's Vox 26. Now if I'm pressing on Ctrl Z, you won't see the Vox 25, but instead you'll see it right here in the pool, in the trash, Vox 25, where you can simply drag it back to the audio and then from here back into the project again. It won't save you any MIDI files, so make sure that whenever you're making a good recording, don't press on the record button again or it will be deleted. For an example, I'm recording something, let's say it's a good recording and I accidentally pressed on the record button and let's say I want to return back, it's gone completely, so be cautious with this one. The next 2 options are pretty self-explanatory. Start recording from cursor will start recording from the point you're standing at with your cursor. Pretty simple. I'm here, recording, going forward, recording again, backwards, etc. Same goes with the instrument. It's just showing you the square beginning from the beginning of the bar, but it's still recording directly from the cursor itself. Or you can choose to start recording from the left locator. This option is great whenever you have many files you want to record one after the other, which are all starting from the same position. For an example, let's move forward, record, and it's jumping right back to the locator. Same goes with anything else you're doing. Let's just change it back to my own defaults. There we go. Let's continue to the audio recording modes. The first option is the keep history. This option means that whenever you're recording a new recording on top of an old one, a new layer will be created. For an example, I'm recording something right now, and I'm recording something on top of it, and it's simply recorded on top of the old one. Pressing here will show the layers. Let's jump to the third audio recording mode, which is the replace, which means that whenever you're recording a new recording on top of an old one, it will simply replace the old recording and delete it from the main screen. From some reason, many people think that the replace option is actually deleting the file completely, which is not true. The old file is being sent to the pool, into the trash. So if you want to use it again, you can simply drag it to the audio and put it back in the project. For an example, recording right now, 35. Let's start from earlier and record on top of that, 36. Now as you can see, we have no layers under the new recording. And if I'm going to the pool, under trash, I can find 35 right here, which once again, like before, I can drag to the audio and use it whenever necessary. And let's go back to the cycle history plus replace. The replace we already reviewed, and in this mode it does exactly the same, but whenever you're in a cycle and recording in loops, the recording is creating layers on top of each other and not replacing anything as long as you're recording within the cycle itself. If we're going outside of the cycle and recording here, it's replacing the original recording. Now let's go to the MIDI recording mode. The first three options to choose from will focus on what's going on whenever you're recording on top of an old recording. Doesn't matter if it's inside or outside a cycle. The first option is called New Parts. Whenever you're recording a new MIDI part on top of an old MIDI part, Cubase will simply create a new layer. After that, you can simply glue them together or separate the files and choose which one you want to keep. Now this is the old recording. I'm not recording it during the cycle itself. Let's record on top of that. And you can see that we have layers, which we can get in, choose, change, mute, and even merge between them if you want to. There we go. When it comes to the layers in the MIDI files, unlike the audio, you will always hear the old MIDI parts with the new ones you're playing at the moment. If you will choose merge, which is an option I'm using quite a lot, recording new MIDI events will merge them with the old recordings, thus adding the MIDI to the existing track without actually making layers and making you work twice as hard. Stop, going back. And no layers, all combined into one box. And the replace option, like in the audio recording mode, will simply replace any old MIDI events with new ones you're recording on top of them. Let's record. Stop, go back, and on top of the old one. Completely replaced and deleted the old one. This is not like the audio, so it won't send anything to the pool, so again, be very cautious with this one. Let's continue to the MIDI cycle record mode, which is determining what's going on with the MIDI whenever you're recording inside a cycle. The mix will simply put any new recording on top of the old one. Just notice that not in layers, but in a whole merged box. The override is pretty cool. In a cycle, whenever you have an old recording and you're recording a new one on top of it, playing a new note anywhere will delete all the notes from the new note you played and ahead. A bit hard to explain, but let me show you. As you can see, when I entered the new note, all the old ones ahead were deleted. The keep last, which is pretty self-explanatory, will save only the last recording you made. The stacked mode is working pretty much like the keep last, but instead of deleting all the old recordings, it's keeping them but putting them on mute. And you have access to all the old files. If you want, you can simply unmute and they will work together with layers, or delete any of the ones you don't want. And the last part, which is the mix stack, is basically just like the mix but creating the layers. And the final option is the auto quantize, which will set the notes you're playing on the selected quantize preset you have without you having to press on the cue after you've finished recording. You can also pick it from here if you want. Let's check it out, for example. Hold on, let's make it an 8 to see it exactly on the rhythm. Wasn't exactly on the rhythm, but if I'm getting inside, you can see that it's sitting exactly on the bars. Pretty awesome. You can find the recording modes in older versions of Cubase in the transport bar by pressing F2. Just notice that they look a bit different over there and don't have as much options as you can find in the Cubase 9. So make sure to explore these options and see what's working best for you and for your workflow. Till the next video, keep making some awesome music, and I'll see you soon. If you didn't have any chance to look at the new course I made, make sure to check it out. Its main focus is on the MIDI and the instrument, and it will take you from a complete beginner to a complete pro. And even if you're experienced, you have tons of tips and things to learn. You can find the course both on Udemy and on Skillshare, so make sure to check it out and see if you can find anything that is beneficial for you. Feel free to ask me any question you want, and I'll see you in the next lesson.